I've made some videos recently showing people with unsupported hardware how to go from Windows 10 to Windows 11. And for the most part, most of these upgrades went perfectly fine. And I saved a ton of people a ton of money on not having to buy a new computer. But not everyone had the same experience. There were a handful of issues where the upgrade got stuck in the middle or didn't complete and rolled back to Windows 10, or in some cases, wouldn't boot to either Windows 10 or Windows 11. Total nightmare. Thanks, Microsoft. But part of those reasons are for the requirements that Microsoft has for going to Windows 11. So I thought it'd be a good idea to break down what those requirements are, which ones are critical, which ones are recommended, and which ones really don't matter. And then based on your results, you can decide for yourself. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 6 requirements that Microsoft states that you need to upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. I'll show you which ones are critical, which ones are recommended, and then based on your results, you can decide whether it makes sense to go ahead and try to upgrade to 11 or bite the bullet and get a new computer. Now, speaking of that, one of the things that I offer to my viewers is a free PC recommendation service. If you are looking to upgrade a computer and you really don't know what direction to go, there is a link in the description, and if you click that link, fill out a quick form, I will personally find the right machine for you, for your budget, and for your needs. I'm happy to do it. It's 100% free. Hi guys, my name is Scott Merrill. I've been in IT for over 30 years, and on this channel, we do Windows tips, tricks, reviews, troubleshooting, pretty much all things Windows. So if that's something you're into, make sure you stick around. Now, before we dig in, understand that these 6 requirements are what Microsoft says every machine needs. And that's not 100% true. Several of these requirements are pretty critical to system operation. Some of them are recommended, and some of them you can easily bypass and it really doesn't matter a whole lot. Now, I totally understand that there's a lot of you that want to stay on Windows 10, and that's fine if that's what you want to do and you know the repercussions of that. But for those of you who want to go to Windows 11, you should be aware of these warning flags, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Think of each of these requirements as a potential warning flag, and I'll give you an example. Say you talk to your partner about something you want to do on a Friday night, and your partner says, yeah, that's not really a good idea, but you want to do it anyway. Well, if 6 of your friends also say that's a bad idea, then generally you should probably not do whatever it is you were planning on doing. And that's kind of the way the requirements are going to work here. Each of the requirements that your computer doesn't meet is a warning flag indicating that you potentially are going to have problems. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, maybe not next month, but going forward, these requirements are there for a reason, and you should definitely pay attention to them. Now, again, based on your needs, you get to decide what's most important, but it's my job to let you know, and then you can decide for yourself. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the easiest and most user-friendly way to check and see if your computer can support Windows 11, and that's by using Microsoft's PC Health Check app. Also, if you're looking at wanting to check out what Windows 11 is all about before you actually commit to it, I did make a video, a full Windows 11 walkthrough video showing you basically everything that's different. I'll put that card up here for you and you can check out that video later. So to get to the PC Health Check app, what you're going to want to do is just open up your web browser, and in the search box, you're just going to type in download PC Health Check and then search. Now, the very first page that's going to come up here is the Microsoft page, how to use the Health Check app. Just click on that. Then what you're going to do is just scroll down just a little bit right here where it says how to open PC Health Check, and click on this link right here. That will start downloading the file, and then once the file is downloaded, you just simply click on it to run it. And just go ahead and accept any agreements that pop up. Click Install. You're going to see the option for Open Windows PC Health Check. Go ahead and click Finish. Now it's going to take a second, and it's going to bring up this window right here. Basically all this is telling you what hardware you have, etc. But you want to click that blue Check Now button right there. Now, as you can see on this computer, which is an older Windows 10 computer, which I actually thought would upgrade, this says it does not meet the system requirements. But what I want to do is click on See All Results. Now, obviously, if you get a notification here with a checkbox saying the machine meets the requirements, you don't have to do anything else. You're done. Windows Update will give you the option to download and install Windows 11 when it is available for you. But this is specifically showing you, if you have an unsupported machine, what you need to know. But this is specifically for unsupported hardware, and so you can understand what is not meeting the requirements for you. So click See All Results, and you'll see here that it says the processor is not currently supported, and we'll get to that in a little bit. One of the requirements is that it supports Secure Boot. It does have TPM 2.0, and again, we'll talk about all these in a minute. It does have at least 4 gigs of memory. It does have 64 gigs or larger for storage, and it does have more than 2 processors. So the only thing that is preventing this machine from upgrading is the processor. And just keep that in mind as we go through this. Now, this particular machine, I have personally upgraded to Windows 11 using one of those bypass methods that I talked about earlier, and it runs beautifully with no problem. The CPU not being supported isn't that big of a deal, but it could be, and I'll explain here in a second. Microsoft has a list of supported processors, but it's what the processors can or can't do that will make the difference. And it'll make more sense in a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this right here. And according to this, I cannot upgrade to Windows 11. But I do know for a fact that this computer can. But again, this is a test machine, so I'm not terribly concerned about it. But I did use this same machine in the other videos where I showed you how to do it. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Now, if you are lucky enough where the amount of RAM that you have or memory on your machine is the only thing preventing the upgrade, then you actually are in luck and you'll be able to do this and save a little bit of money. But the easiest way to find out what memory you have and what memory you can put in your computer is to use a free scan from Crucial, which is a known memory vendor, super trusted by anybody in the industry. So what you can do is just go to Google, and then I would just go to Crucial Memory Scanner and then search. This first link right here should take you to the Crucial System Scanner, and then right here you can click on Start My Free Scan. Accept the terms, and then it's going to download this quick little file right here. Just click on that, and what this is doing right now is it's just scanning the computer for the type of memory. It's going to tell me what upgrade options I have and what the capacity of my machine is. So now again, I have plenty of memory in this machine, but in your case you may not. So I've got this machine maxed out right here, but if, for example, you only had 4 gigs of memory right here, and you wanted to add some more, you could just scroll down and literally click this link right here to add more memory. So just be aware that if that is what's holding you back, it's easy to find out exactly what you need, and I've used this Crucial scanner for years, and I 100% trust it. Now, the next thing we need to talk about are what Microsoft considers extremely important, and that is CPU instruction sets. And I'll briefly explain what those are so you understand, and then I'll show you how to check and see if your system supports those. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. Does this look familiar? That old chair sagging, squeaky, slowly turning your workday into an absolute backache factory? Sitting at your computer for hours shouldn't mean headaches, backaches, or constant shifting and discomfort. Meet the Hoffy Big and Tall Executive Office Chair. Incredibly affordable, packed with features you'd expect in chairs twice the price. Easy to assemble in just a few minutes, and it's built for people who actually work at their desks all day. My favorite part is the inflatable lumbar support for perfect lower back comfort, and trust me, I need it. It's got a wide 23-inch seat, high-density memory foam, raw cotton, inner springs for softness and support. It's got heavy-duty build, and it supports up to 450 pounds. Space-saving flip-up armrests tucked neatly under your desk when you're done for the day. Whether you're a YouTube creator, a student, or you're just sitting at the computer crunching numbers all day, this chair is absolutely perfect. I didn't need a chair with RGB and Bluetooth and vibrating speakers and all that crap. I just needed long-lasting comfort, and this chair absolutely does that. And the best part is my viewers get 25% off with the code COMPUTER25. Product links in the description. It's comfortable, heavy duty, and surprisingly inexpensive. You're going to love it. So back to the instruction sets. Now there are 2 specific things that the Microsoft Windows 11 says that it absolutely needs for stability and making sure that everything works correctly in Windows 11. And those 2 things are what's known as POP-CNT and SSE 4.2. And as you can see right here, I'll just read to you what it says. They are CPU instruction sets introduced by both Intel and AMD around 2008. So if you have a relatively new computer, you should be okay here. But what POP-CNT does is it basically counts the number of ones in a string of numbers. And SSE 4.2 gives you the ability to combine instructions going forward. So you're going to get faster processor, your functionality on the machine is going to be able to do more at the same time. Now, I have upgraded machines that don't have these 2 requirements, but it's probably not advisable because at some point in the future, they just may break, Windows may break. And as Windows updates continue, Microsoft may stop supporting Windows 11 machines that have been upgraded on unsupported hardware specifically for these two things. Now, it's real easy to check and see if you have these POP-CNT and SSE support, and I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. What we're going to do is use a program called Core Info. It's actually a Windows utility, part of the sysinternals package. So if you Google download Core Info, and then right here, the very first link, click on Core Info sysinternals. You click on that, and then just simply click download Core Info. Now, when that file is done, as you can see, it's a zip file. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to show that in folder by right-clicking on it. And then we're going to extract it into its own folder. Now, this has to be run from a command line, so you want to pay attention to where it's installed to or extracted to. So in this case, it's my downloads folder and then the core info. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the search box and I'm going to type in CMD, and then I'm going to select Run as Administrator. Go ahead and accept the user account control prompt. So I'm going to type CD backspace enter to go back to the C drive. I'm going to type CD space users, and then in this case my profile name, which is just test, CD space test enter, and then I can CD or change directory into my downloads folder. And whatever your profile name is, if it's John, then type John instead, okay? And then CD space core info, which is that folder that we extracted those files into. And you can do a directory here, and you can see there's the core info file that we need. So what we're going to type is core info, if I can spell it right, core info space -F. And then you're going to get this prompt here from sysinternals. Just click agree, and it's going to bring up a whole bunch of stuff here. But here's what you need to focus on. Don't worry about all this other stuff. What you want to look for is either an asterisk or a dash. The asterisk next to each part of these CPU instructions will tell you if it's supported or not supported. Asterisk is good. Dash, not good. So in this case, SSE 4.2, which we talked about was one of the requirements, I have an asterisk. So I know for a fact that that instruction set will work on this computer. Now the next one here, we're going to scroll down until you see POP-CNT. And I'm not sure exactly what order these are in, but just look for POP-CNT. And again, asterisk right there. So I know that even though this computer is on the unsupported list from Microsoft, the two instruction sets that Microsoft requires are on this computer. So this core info told me exactly that. So that gives me a little bit better feeling about whether or not I can upgrade this computer. And as I said before, I was able to upgrade it with no problem whatsoever. But there's a couple more things we need to check. So the next two things that are requirements by Microsoft are what's known as TPM, or Trusted Platform Module. You might have heard of it before. That basically is one of the things that allows BitLocker to run, drive encryption, extra security, all that stuff. You don't really need to know what it means. Just understand that it is a requirement. So there's that, and then there's also Secure Boot. And what Secure Boot does is it basically helps prevent malware from running on your computer. In other words, to cut down on some of the crap that might cause you problems in the future. Secure Boot, it's to help prevent it. I don't think it 100% prevents it, but it certainly doesn't hurt. And a lot of you out there may have the ability to turn on Secure Boot in your BIOS, and you just don't even know it. And same with TPM. You may not have TPM enabled. So I'm going to show you how to check to see whether your computer supports one or both of these, and that will, again, be a couple other things that will help you decide whether you want to take the risk and upgrade to 11. So the easiest way to check to see if your system has TPM support is to hit the Windows and the R key. Very simple. And then you're just going to type tpm.msc and hit enter. And when you do that, you're going to get this window that pops up right here. Now, all you need to focus on right here is the status, which tells you the TPM is ready for use. If it says unsupported or unavailable, then you know you don't have TPM support, and that is a huge flag for potentially upgrading. And also here under TPM manufacturer, you want to look and see it is 2.0. If you have TPM 1.0, you probably should not upgrade to Windows 11. But if you have TPM available here and TPM 2.0 down here, you are good to go for that. So consider that a positive towards potentially upgrading. Now, the other thing we need to check is secure boot. The easiest way to do that is hit the Windows and the R key, which is your run box, and just type in msinfo32. Hit enter, and then you're going to get this window that comes up here. What you're going to be looking for on this list right here is this secure boot state. Now in this case it is off, but I can enable it in my BIOS. In other words, it doesn't say it's not available or not supported. It just says that it is currently off on my system. So if you restart your computer, go into your BIOS, usually it's escape or delete or F1, look for secure boot and turn that on, and now you have another green flag towards being able to upgrade. If you do not have the secure boot option in your BIOS, then that is probably a reason to not upgrade Windows 11 and potentially look at replacing your computer. Eventually it's going to be an issue where the only option for Windows 11 is going to be secure boot. So again, take that for what you will, but that is how you check for secure boot on this computer. Now, the other thing that you're going to need is UEFI BIOS support. And basically, if you have a much older system, you might have what's known as a legacy or MBR BIOS. You need to be able to have UEFI support for Windows 11. The easiest way to check that here in sysinfo is go and look for BIOS mode. If it says UEFI, then you definitely have that ability. If it says MBR or legacy and you go into your BIOS and cannot change it to UEFI, that is a big warning flag that you should not upgrade to Windows 11. But if you have secure boot and UEFI, you should be good to go, at least to give it a try. Now, one other thing that you are going to need if you have Windows 11, you're going to need a GPT partitioning system instead of the typical old style MBR. Now, there is a free utility here from Microsoft that's built into your Windows already called MBR to GPT. What this basically does is it converts your file system to the newer Windows 11 format GPT file system. You can do it with no data loss, and I'm not going to go into details on how to do that in this video, but if you just search for MBR to GPT, you can read about it here. There's even videos here to show you exactly how to do it. And of course, even though it doesn't cause you to lose any data, definitely a good idea to back up your system. But that's another thing that your system is going to need in order to run Windows 11. Easiest way to check for that is to right click on your start button and go to disk management. If you right click here on disk 0, which is usually your C drive, if you right click and the convert to MBR is grayed out, that means that you currently have MBR. Now, I have upgraded to Windows 11 on this machine. I'm not 100% sure whether it actually went ahead and converted my file system or not. I have to check that. But even if it didn't, when I upgraded to Windows 11, everything ran smoothly. So either it upgraded it to GPT automatically or it didn't, but it still ran. But just be aware that that's how you would check to see if you currently have MBR. So you can check that real quick and then you'll know. And again, as I said earlier, some of the requirements are recommended and you can easily get around them. Again, the RAM, which I showed you using the Crucial Scanner, how you can check and potentially upgrade your computer, but I think it only needs 4 gigs of RAM. So most everything in the last 15 years is going to have at least 4 gigs. But what might hold you up is not having 64 gigabytes of free space on your computer. Now, actually, I made a video a while back showing you how to clear up free space on your computer using a handful of free and easy utilities. I'll put that up here for you if you want to check that out, if in fact the lack of free space is your only restriction. So let's kind of go through the requirements as overall thing and see if upgrading to Windows 11 makes more sense, or maybe it's time to bite the bullet and buy a new computer. So again, the lack of RAM or the storage, easy fix. Like I said, you can just go with those videos and clear up tons of storage space. The easiest way to check is just to go to your File Explorer right here, and then go to this PC, and then you can look and see how much storage space you have. In this case, it tells me I've got 400 gigs free, so way more than 64. I am 100% good to go on that part. But again, if you don't have at least 64 gigs free, you're not going to be able to do that upgrade. So you might have to do that first if you want to proceed. Secondly, TPM and Secure Boot. If you don't have either of those, you may not run into problems now, but you're probably going to have issues going forward. The upgrade should work, but it's 50-50, to be honest with you. Now, the last one is the instruction sets, the POP CNT and the SSE 4.2 requirements. That is basically the instructions for your processor on how to perform everything from opening a picture to running File Explorer. If you don't have those two specific instruction sets, I would absolutely mark those as major red flags. As I said before, you may be able to upgrade and it may work fine for a day, a week, a month, 6 months even, but you're going to have problems. Maybe a year from now, but you're going to have problems. So if you don't at least have those two instruction sets, and again, that's been around for 15 years, over 15 years. So if your machine is that old, it's probably time to go ahead and think about a hardware upgrade. And as I said before, I'd be more than happy to help you. There is that link in the description. It's a quick Google form. Fill it out. Let me help you, or at least let me point you in the right direction. And so you can kind of compare and contrast. Do I want to try to upgrade to Windows 11, or should I just go ahead and get a new machine with Windows 11, with support, with continued updates, and everything works, and I don't have to do any of the stuff that computer guy told me I should do? So as we wrap this up, two things I want to tell you. One, regardless of what you're doing today, whether you upgrade to Windows 11 or not, the most important thing you should probably do is back up your data. Because as I've said before, some of these didn't upgrade correctly. And if you didn't follow the instructions in the video the first time to back up that data, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. This is an unsupported upgrade from Microsoft. It's perfectly legal, but Microsoft has these requirements in place. So back up your data. If you're not sure how to do that, I did make a video showing you exactly how to back up the data that's on your computer right now. I'll put that over here. So assuming you have your data backed up and you want to go ahead and try to do the Windows 11 upgrade, I did make a great video using a very popular method, and it's worked for a lot of people. I'll put that right over here for you, and you can decide which one makes the most sense for you. So as always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.